Okay, welcome to the video. This is my third attempt at recording this. This is going to be a video about why the APR in the masonry is so low and when is it going to go back up again. So going into the masonry, currently you can see the APR is at 208%. Historically, you're used to seeing this around about the 600% mark. So why is it so low? So because currently we are in debt. So coming over here, you can see this if you go to the stats.Tomb.Finance, link down below in the description. If you come down to the bottom of this page, once it loads, it does take quite a long time for this page to load, so go and make yourself a brew or something, you know. Once it's loaded, you will see the treasury debt in Tomb. So this number is currently sat at the 8 million in debt. So what's happening is this number here, every time that we have an epoch and the Tomb is printed, 65% of all of the Tomb which is printed is paid out of this debt here, and it moves into the treasury Tomb balance over there. So this number is going to increase until this number is 0. So how quickly are we printing this? So coming back up to the top here, pull up the keyboard, we are currently printing 4.46 million Tomb per day. So 4.46 million Tomb, and 65% of that goes into paying the debt. So per day we are printing 2.9 million Tomb into the treasury Tomb balance, which is removing the treasury debt. So if we do the calculation, 8.05 divided by 2.9, 8.05 divided by 2.9, that will tell us how many days are outstanding. So we need to wait another 2.77 days. So multiply that by 4, that will tell us how many more prints we have to wait. So it's going to take us another just over 11 prints in order to finish paying this debt, and then that number will be complete. This number here will become 0. So at the moment that means that we're only receiving 1/3, or well 35%, roughly a third of this number here, which is why the APR is so low. So going back over to Tomb.Finance, if we take this APR number here and go back onto the calculator again, if we do 207.5 divided by 35 and then multiply that by 100, that gets us an APR of 592.8. Divide that by 365, and that is a daily payment of 1.62%. Now there's a correlation between how much Tomb we print, which is the APR, and the actual price of a T-share. So the price of a T-share is directly related to the amount of Tomb that we print. So if we are printing 3 times more Tomb, then that means that the price of a T-share will increase, which will drop this APR, but that's almost irrelevant. But the price of a T-share, which you can see here on the home page, is currently $15.9 thousand, or just under 7,000 Fantom. So if we move over onto Spooky Swap and we look at the Fantom price of Tomb, you can see that is where the peak was. So if we take the current price and we measure up to the peak, so that was 9 days and 17 hours ago, oh, just a little bit less than that because I've drawn it in the wrong place, 53.7% to get back to the all-time high in terms of Fantom. Now if we go into dollars and we looking for a potential price indication here. If we do that same calculation from here and we go up by 53%, that's going to take us to a $24.3 thousand T-share. Now, why is it going to increase to that level? Well, because of what I said on here. If the amount of Tomb that we're printing increases, that means that the relative value of a T-share will increase. So it's feasible that if the amount of T-share that we're going to print is going to increase by 3 times, then the price of a T-share has the potential to increase by at least 50% just to get it back to its all-time highs. So there's the logic as to why and when we're going to be out of this, and what the price action is likely to be on the actual price of a T-share. So that is 11 epochs time, which is just under 3 days. We potentially are going to go to a $25,000 T-share, and the APR is going to go roughly to 590%, which will be slightly reduced if we were to see a $25,000 T-share. Now that's obviously going to massively increase the total value locked as well, which is brilliant, because looking at DeFi Llama right now, Tomb's doing really well. We managed to break the billion and then hold it yesterday, and look at that, we've actually managed to overtake SpookySwap. So wow, look at that for TVL in a 7-day. 92% extra. We're just above SpookySwap. That puts us into 44th position, so we are rapidly moving up this ladder. Now imagine if we could add 50% to this, where would that take us? We would be looking at pushing into the top 30-ish of project TVLs. Now if you look on the Fantom chain, we are already in 2nd place, but I don't like to include this one. So technically that puts us into pretty much a joint 1st position, which is where we've been nestling for a while. But remember, we were down at the $300 million not too long ago. If you go into the project and you look down here, you know, 300s, 200s around this area, and that was just over a month ago, so about 40 days ago, which is around about where I actually started to get into this project here. So yeah, we've moved quite a long way. And other than that, we're looking at the price of Fantom. So Fantom's actually increased in price by 70%, and that's taken us from, we were down here somewhere, and we've actually moved up to being into the 34th place. And yesterday we were actually pushing to contend with the chain. We were neck and neck, bumping up against them. But I would like to see Fantom in the top 20. Now we've got the price action that's going to come from Bitcoin. So moving on over and looking at the Bitcoin chart, if we are on here, you can see that we broke out of this channel that was moving down here. We've come up, and now we are starting to bump into a resistance in this sort of area here. However, today on the daily chart, we've actually managed to print a slightly higher high, which is absolutely brilliant. Trying to look for the correct chart, one of the charts I've got. Yeah, so there we go. So you can see the ones there where I've got the yellow circles drawn. You can see where this area of resistance has been created, and with this resistance line here. And not only are they interacting over there, you know, you can see various interactions with this red line around this sort of area. So right now we have to overcome this resistance, and then we've also got this sort of trend line created here. We had a bit of a false breakout here. It was coming down. We're going to come up. If we can test this line, remain above this resistance, turn it into support, get above the blue and the yellow, the 50 and the 50 and the 100 moving averages, use those as support, get above the yellow trend line, use that as support, there's no reason we couldn't be looking at moving back into all-time high territory for Bitcoin, which, if we go from this line and we look at the all-time high, that was 32% higher than the current value. So yeah, there's a long way for us to go. The chart is looking fantastic for a T-share. The chart is looking fantastic for Fantom. That's the wrong time frame to be looking on there. So you see, we've pretty much just gone straight upwards, and today's the first red candle that we've had for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days now. So on the daily, it looks a bit scary. It looks like we should be ready for a bit of a pullback. However, when you look at it on the 4 hour, what I see is we've had various little pullback here. We've had a very nice pullback here, and then we are currently just in the middle of another pullback. We'll find an area, we'll test it, and then we'll move back up again. So that is massively bullish. Obviously, if the price of Fantom increases, the price of a T-share will also increase, because they're related through the Fantom T-share pairing. So that pretty much wraps it up. I don't want to rant on for too long. If you enjoyed the video and it's been useful, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment on any feedback that you've got or anything that you'd like for me to add to the video or to do in future videos. So thank you very much for watching.